In a jaw-dropping display of political drama, Donald Trump reportedly hurled a pen across the room during a tense Republican Party strategy meeting, shouting, "You're a traitor." The explosive outburst sent shockwaves through the GOP, with insiders describing the moment as one of the most chaotic in recent memory. The meeting, intended to unify party leaders ahead of the upcoming election, quickly descended into chaos when discussions turned to endorsements and campaign strategies. Sources say Trump, who has been at odds with several GOP figures over their perceived lack of loyalty, grew visibly agitated as the conversation veered toward primary challenges. "It started out as a regular meeting," said one attendee who spoke on the condition of anonymity. But when Trump felt like certain members weren't fully backing him, he completely lost it. Tensions reportedly boiled over when a senior Republican operative suggested that the party consider supporting a broader range of candidates to appeal to moderates. "We need to expand our base," the operative said. "Sticking to a single figure could cost us key districts." That's when Trump snapped. "Expand the base? Expand the base," he shouted, his face turning red. "We don't need to expand anything. We need loyalty. Loyalty to me." According to witnesses, the room fell silent as Trump stood up, grabbing a pen from the table and pointing it toward the operative. "You think you can win without me? You're a fool. You're a traitor to this party, and you'll pay for it." Trump then allegedly threw the pen across the room, narrowly missing another attendee. The pen reportedly hit a nearby wall, leaving a small dent. Several people gasped audibly, while others tried to diffuse the tension. The operative, visibly shaken, attempted to respond but was cut off as Trump continued his tirade. "I built this party. Without me, you'd all be nothing. And now you want to sell me out? Disloyalty is what's ruining this country." Some attendees tried to calm Trump down, urging him to refocus on the meeting's agenda. However, Trump reportedly ignored their pleas, continuing to berate those he believed were plotting against him. "You think you can undermine me? I know who's loyal and who isn't," he said, pointing around the room. The meeting quickly dissolved into chaos, with several attendees attempting to leave. People were whispering, texting, trying to figure out how to get out without making it worse, one source said. It was like a scene out of a movie. As the tension reached its peak, Trump reportedly stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind him. His parting words echoed through the hall, "If you're not with me, you're against me, and you'll regret it." News of the incident leaked almost immediately, sparking a media frenzy. Political pundits debated the implications of Trump's outburst, with some describing it as a sign of his iron grip on the GOP and others calling it evidence of a fractured party. "This isn't just about a pen being thrown," one analyst said on cable news. "This is about the growing divide within the Republican Party. Trump demands absolute loyalty, and anyone who challenges him faces his wrath." Supporters of Trump were quick to defend him, framing the incident as a justified reaction to disloyalty. "President Trump is fighting for the soul of the party," one prominent ally said. "If some people can't handle his passion, they don't belong in leadership." Critics, however, seized on the story as further proof of Trump's volatility. "This is not leadership," one Republican strategist remarked. "This is chaos. The GOP can't move forward if it's held hostage by one man's ego." Social media erupted as details of the incident spread. Memes of Trump throwing a pen flooded platforms like Twitter and TikTok, with captions like, "When loyalty isn't optional," and "Pen diplomacy, Trump style." Late-night comedians jumped on the story, mocking Trump's outburst with skits depicting him throwing increasingly absurd objects at GOP leaders, ranging from staplers to cheeseburgers. Meanwhile, Trump himself addressed the incident during a rally in Texas. "They said I threw a pen," he told the cheering crowd. "Well, maybe I did, and you know why? Because I don't put up with traitors." The audience erupted into chants of "Trump! Trump! Trump!" For Trump's loyal supporters, the incident was another example of his unyielding commitment to his vision for the party. "He's not afraid to call out the establishment," one attendee said. "That's why we love him." However, dissent within the GOP continued to grow. Several Republican lawmakers privately expressed concern over Trump's behavior, with one calling the incident a turning point. "If we can't have a meeting without it turning into a spectacle, how do we win elections?" the lawmaker asked. Despite the controversy, Trump's influence within the party remained undeniable. Fundraising numbers skyrocketed following the incident, with Trump's campaign sending emails to supporters touting his fight against rhino traitors. As the fallout continued, Political analysts warned that the GOP's internal divisions could have lasting consequences. Trump's dominance is both a strength and a weakness for the party, one commentator said. He energizes his base but alienates moderates who are crucial in tight races. For now, Trump appeared undeterred by the backlash. At another rally, he doubled down on his demands for loyalty. "If you're not with me, you're against me, and we don't need traitors in the Republican Party," he declared to thunderous applause. The incident had become yet another flashpoint in Trump's polarizing political career, cementing his reputation as a leader who demands absolute allegiance, and isn't afraid to throw a pen to prove it. As the fallout from Trump's explosive outburst at the GOP meeting continued to reverberate through Washington, the political world was in complete disarray. News outlets across the spectrum dissected every detail of the incident, from Trump's fiery accusations of betrayal to the symbolic throwing of the pen, which quickly became a viral meme. In conservative circles, Trump's behavior was seen as a defining moment of strength. "President Trump is cleaning house," one Fox News host declared. "He's separating the true patriots from the career politicians who've sold out the Republican Party." Supporters flooded social media with hashtags like #TraitorsExposed and #TrumpFightsBack as they praised his willingness to call out disloyalty. Meanwhile, moderate Republicans and critics within the party privately expressed alarm. This was supposed to be a strategy session to unify the party, one GOP insider confided. Instead, it turned into a loyalty test and a public spectacle. Several members reportedly began reconsidering their positions within Trump's inner circle. The incident also sparked backlash from Democrats, who seized on the chaos to paint the GOP as fractured and dysfunctional. If they can't even get through a meeting without accusations and pen-throwing, how can they govern? One Democratic strategist asked during a press conference. Trump, however, seemed unfazed by the criticism. During a fiery rally in Georgia, he directly addressed the controversy. "They say I threw a pen," Trump said, pacing the stage. "Well, maybe I did, and you know why? Because I don't tolerate traitors." The crowd erupted into chants of "USA! USA!" At the same rally, Trump escalated his rhetoric, calling out specific members of the Republican Party he believed were working against him. "We've got people in the party who are weak, who are disloyal, and who are selling out our movement," Trump thundered. "We don't need them. We need fighters." The audience cheered as Trump continued to name names, accusing certain GOP figures of being beholden to corporate donors and establishment interests. "They don't care about you," he declared. "They care about their cocktail parties and their paychecks. Not me. I fight for the American people." The moment further solidified Trump's grip on his base, but it also deepened the fractures within the GOP. Moderate Republicans struggled to navigate the fallout, with some choosing to stay silent and others openly condemning Trump's actions. One senator, speaking anonymously, described the meeting as a turning point for the party. Social media platforms became a battleground for the narrative. Trump loyalists flooded Truth Social and Twitter with posts defending his actions, calling the pen-throwing moment symbolic of his fight against corruption. Meanwhile, critics circulated memes mocking the incident, with captions like, "When words aren't enough, throw office supplies." Late-night comedians and satirical shows had a field day with the story. One viral sketch depicted Trump throwing increasingly absurd objects at his opponents: a stapler, a printer, and even a paper shredder. Another skit showed a mock GOP loyalty test, featuring Trump asking party members to pledge their allegiance while dodging flying pens. Despite the humor, the political stakes were undeniable. Fundraising emails from Trump's campaign capitalized on the controversy, framing him as the only leader willing to stand up to the establishment. One email read, "They called me extreme because I demand loyalty to you, the American people. Stand with me against the traitors." The email reportedly brought in millions of dollars within hours, underscoring Trump's ability to turn even negative press into an advantage. "He thrives on chaos," one political analyst noted. "Every controversy becomes fuel for his movement." The pen-throwing incident also became a talking point in upcoming Republican debates, with rival candidates forced to address whether they supported Trump's actions. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis attempted to walk a fine line, saying, "We need strong leadership, but we also need discipline. The American people deserve both." Trump wasted no time responding, mocking DeSantis at his next rally. "Discipline? DeSantis wants discipline? Let me tell you something. Discipline won't drain the swamp. You need guts, and that's what I've got." The The crowd erupted into applause as Trump's dominance in the party became even more evident. Behind closed doors, tensions continued to simmer. Reports emerged of private conversations among GOP leaders, some of whom questioned whether Trump's behavior was sustainable for the party in the long term. "We're winning the base, but we're losing the middle," one strategist reportedly said. Despite the concerns, Trump's grip on the party showed no signs of weakening. His rallies drew massive crowds, and his campaign's messaging became more aggressive. Ads featuring footage of the pen-throwing incident were spliced with clips of Trump calling out corruption, ending with the tagline, "The fighter America needs." The Democrats, meanwhile, seized on the incident to energize their own base. During a campaign event, President Joe Biden quipped, "I may not throw pens, but I get the job done." His supporters laughed and cheered, but the comment underscored the growing divide between the two parties. As the controversy stretched into its second month, polls revealed a stark divide among voters. Trump's approval ratings among Republicans remained sky-high, while his numbers among independents took a hit. Analysts noted that the incident highlighted the GOP's internal struggles but also cemented Trump's role as its central figure. The story even caught the attention of international media, with headlines like "Trump's pen throw, a metaphor for U.S. politics," appearing in major newspapers worldwide. Foreign commentators expressed both amusement and concern over the state of American leadership. As Election Day loomed closer, both parties sought to leverage the incident to their advantage. Trump's team continued to frame him as the ultimate outsider fighting for the people, while Democrats argued that his behavior was proof of his instability and unfitness for office. The pen-throwing incident, which began as a fleeting moment of frustration, had grown into a defining narrative of Trump's campaign. For his supporters, it was a badge of honor, a symbol of his refusal to back down. For his opponents, it was a rallying cry to oppose what they saw as chaos and division. One thing was certain: whether celebrated or condemned, Trump's fiery outburst had once again proven his unparalleled ability to dominate the national conversation and shape the future of American politics. As the fallout from Trump's dramatic pen-throwing incident continued, political analysts began to question the long-term implications for the Republican Party. Some warned that Trump's behavior, while electrifying to his base, could alienate crucial independent and moderate voters in swing states. He's solidifying his grip on the hardcore loyalists, but at what cost? One political strategist remarked during a televised panel discussion. Trump's loyalists, however, saw things differently. At a rally in Ohio, supporters waved signs reading "Drain the swamp, one pen at a time," and "Loyalty or nothing." The energy in the crowd was electric as Trump addressed them, leaning heavily into his reputation as a fighter. "When I threw that pen, it wasn't just a pen," he declared. "It was a message to every corrupt politician, every fake Republican, and every sellout. Your time is up." The rally footage, paired with Trump's fiery rhetoric, quickly went viral. Social media was flooded with memes and video edits of the pen-throwing moment, with captions like "Trump making pens dangerous again" and "The pen is mightier than the politicians." Even some critics couldn't resist joining in on the meme frenzy, creating satirical videos of Trump throwing pens at everything from weather forecasts to sporting events. Back in Washington, the divide within the GOP was becoming impossible to ignore. Some Republican lawmakers, particularly those in vulnerable districts, began to publicly distance themselves from Trump's behavior. "We need unity, not theatrics," one representative said in a carefully worded statement. "Our focus should be on policy solutions, not personality clashes." This criticism only fueled Trump's ire. At his next rally, he directly addressed the defectors. "We have some weak Republicans, folks," he said, pacing the stage. "They're more worried about being liked by the fake news media than standing up for you. Well, I've got news for them. The people are watching, and the people are sick of cowards." The crowd erupted in cheers, chanting, "No more rhinos." Trump's ability to weaponize even the smallest perceived slight into a full-blown rallying cry remained unparalleled, further cementing his influence over the Republican Party. Meanwhile, the Democrats continued to use the incident to hammer home their message about Trump's volatility. President Joe Biden's campaign released a new ad showing clips of the pen-throwing incident alongside images of Biden calmly addressing crises. The ad ended with the tagline, "Leadership or chaos, the choice is yours." The narrative also began to seep into popular culture. Late-night comedians ramped up their coverage, with one show featuring a skit called "Pengate, the Inside Story." The segment depicted a fictionalized version of the GOP meeting, complete with exaggerated slow-motion footage of the pen flying across the room and dramatic music. Despite the humor, the stakes were high. Political commentators pointed out that the pen-throwing incident wasn't just a moment of frustration, it was a microcosm of Trump's leadership style. "This isn't about a pen," one analyst said during a cable news broadcast. "It's about how Trump handles dissent and disagreement. It's a window into how he would govern if re-elected." In response, Trump's team doubled down on their messaging, portraying the former president as the ultimate outsider willing to fight for his supporters. New campaign ads featured Trump's infamous words, "You're a traitor," overlaid with images of him standing defiantly against a backdrop of the Capitol. The ads ended with a simple tagline, "Trump 2024, fighting for you." The fundraising numbers told a clear story. Within weeks of the incident, Trump's campaign had raised millions, outpacing all other Republican candidates combined. "The base isn't just with him, they're all in," one campaign insider said. "This isn't a political movement anymore. It's a cultural phenomenon." Meanwhile, Democrats sought to keep the focus on Trump's refusal to address serious questions about his leadership and policies. At a town hall in Michigan, Vice President Kamala Harris took aim at Trump's antics. "Throwing pens doesn't solve problems," she said. "Leaders face the hard questions, even when it's uncomfortable." Harris's remarks drew applause from the audience but also sparked backlash from Trump supporters, who accused her of missing the point. "Trump isn't afraid to call out corruption," one supporter tweeted. "Harris doesn't get it. Americans want a fighter, not a politician." The divide between the parties only deepened as both sides tried to control the narrative. Trump supporters framed him as a fearless truth-teller, while his opponents painted him as a liability. Polls showed a widening gap in public opinion, with Trump's approval among Republicans reaching record highs but his unfavorability among independents also surging. The controversy even began to affect down-ballot races, as Republican candidates were forced to either align themselves with Trump's rhetoric or risk alienating his base. Some embraced the chaos, adopting Trump's combative style in their own campaigns. Others struggled to navigate the tightrope, avoiding direct criticism of Trump while distancing themselves from the pen-throwing incident. As the weeks went on, the incident remained a dominant topic in the media, overshadowing other political stories. Journalists noted that Trump's ability to control the narrative, even with something as seemingly trivial as a pen throw, was a testament to his unparalleled media savvy. Despite the ongoing debates and divisions, one thing was clear. The pen-throwing moment had become a defining chapter in Trump's post-presidency career, solidifying his status as both a polarizing figure and an unstoppable force within the Republican Party.